And women who are menopausal or perimenopausal and noticing, more issues in the gynecological issues and all that, in that manner, Sitavari is a herb which can be taken routinely, very safely. Nothing have to, you don't need to worry about it. It really supports your own body's hormone structures. There is also studies done on Arjuna heart, which is also has a naturally occurring plant-based calcium and magnesium, and it is being recommended in Ayurvedic medicine also to for the bone health as well as for the heart health. By the way, when our hormones dwindle, it also affects our heart health.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Healthy Habit Podcast, episode number 119, with Dr. Shailinder Sodhi here. He's representing Ayush Herbs. Dr. Sodhi was born in Himachal Pradesh, India. Growing up near the Himalayas, he developed an early interest in Ayurvedic plants and herbs. This interest gradually turned into a passion, and in 1985, he received his Bachelor in Ayurvedic Medicine and Surgery degree from Dayanand Ayurvedic College in Jalandhar, India. I hope I'm pronouncing these very good, Dr. Sodhi.
You're doing really well.
He then enrolled at Bastyr University, located in Kenmore, Washington, where he received his ND degree in Naturopathic Medicine in 1993. And since then, he's been attending to patients along with his brother, Dr. Virender Sodhi, which we had on the podcast here 2 times now, if you go back and check those episodes out, and his wife, Dr. Anju Sodhi, at the Ayurvedic and Naturopathic Clinic, located in Bellevue, Washington, where they treat patients from all over the world. Dr. Shailinder Sodhi serves as president of Ayush Herbs, which we're going to discuss here today. He's also taught at Bastyr University as an adjunct faculty member. And this guest right here, folks, has done so much for our naturopathic field. We're both NDs here, me from Tempe, Arizona here, and he got his ND there in Washington. So thank you, Dr. Sodhi, for coming on the podcast.
It's my pleasure to be on your podcast, Dr. Dijan. It's always great to see you and hear you, and the knowledge you're sharing with the audience is amazing, and I think you're doing a great job.
I really appreciate those words, Dr. Sodhi. And you guys have built something really impressive over there in Washington. I've checked out your website and your whole staff there, and everything you're doing is helping so many people, especially Cartitone. That's been a fan favorite here at Healthy Habit over the years. Dr. Sodhi, you've been on the podcast before, even back before I took over here when we had the other Dr. Dan doing the show here. So today we're going to discuss endocrine health here on the Healthy Habit Podcast for episode 119. Hormone health, what is it, Dr. Sodhi? How do herbs influence it? I know you and your brother and your whole team there is passionate about Ayurvedic herbs. So tell us your thoughts on hormone health. What do we need to know here to start?
Dr. Dijan, the one thing is about the herbs play a huge role in our well-being and our overall health. And what I see is, people need to learn a little bit more about it, how they can use these herbs effectively to, maintain their great health. In Ayurveda, we have a huge section which talk about Rasayan medicine, which is basically keeping healthy individual healthy throughout the life. In Ayurveda, we also consider that every human being should live at least 100 years, but 100 years of healthy life. So endocrine health is a part of our Rasayan medicine, which is a huge chapter, and it's we are taught in schools for a couple of years to address these issues which happen with the age-related issues, especially with our hormone. So when we think of endocrine, that's exactly what we're thinking of, all the different hormones, how they affect us on our daily life. It's really people who suffer with the endocrine issues, they can tell you how they feel it. For example, if you have a low testosterone, they feel like fatigue and tired, depression, all these things can hit them. And they also start seeing physical conditions like losing muscle mass, not having enough strength. So, these are the really things which we can address by maintaining uh, good lifestyle, healthy lifestyle, along with taking certain herbs which really support that part of the body.
Low testosterone is currently very popular among men. You know, everybody, even if they're not low off the charts, you know, the range would be like 200 to 1100, right? 250 to 1100. They might be 310, 275. You know, they're on the lower side of it. So this is extremely common now, you know, especially as men age, it just gets lower and lower and lower. What
Right.
solutions does Ayush provide to help with boosting testosterone as well as the symptoms commonly associated with the low testosterone that you were just introducing?
I think the one of the main thing which comes to my mind is when we are discussing about low testosterone, the first thing I think I want all the individuals to pay attention to their lifestyle, what they are really doing, and if they have a clean lifestyle or not.
Uh-huh.
And especially there is so much now new research are coming up with all the plasticosides
Yeah.
and PCBs, phthalates, which are affecting. Try to be free from those, and that's one thing. And when we come to the herbal sport from Ayush, there is a product called AyuTest, which is a combination of ashwagandha, which is really well studied herb, then Mucuna prurans, which is another herb which provides the naturally occurring dopamines. And ashwagandha is my favorite herb. It really has a steroidal saponins, which really supports the healthy testosterone levels. And there's lots of studies which have come up with that. Along with this, IU test is a combination of Shilajeet, which have been also studied and well
Yeah.
supporting the sexual health as well. So when we talk about the combination of Mucuna, ashwagandha, and amla, in all these things which are present in IU test, this is a really well balanced formula to take on regular basis
Okay.
routinely by any individual who really experience that uh, we are having a little bit low testosterone or all that. It helps to maintain healthy level of healthy testosterone. Like you mentioned, the range of testosterone on the lab test is from 200 to 900,
Yes.
and those 900 levels are at when at the puberty, when we start having 30 times more production of testosterone from age 13 and onward. That
Uh-huh.
doesn't last too long.
Uh,
After the
right.
age 30, majority of us people are noticing that there is a decline in testosterone levels, somewhere about 1% year, and some individual maybe more than that, because if they don't have a healthy lifestyle, not eating healthy, not exercising routinely, they are going to be the sufferer of this issues, ongoing issues with that.
Amazing, Dr. Shailinder. Thank you for that. I'm doing a screen share here. We can go to ayush.com, folks. Ayush, AYUSH.com. You can see up here at the shop, if you just go to hormonal, boom, and you can see everything here. And by the way, I would highly suggest you go to their About Us here to see all the faces and the bios there behind the team there with Dr. Sodhi's wife and his brother and the whole team. You guys are amazing and high quality Ayurvedic practitioners and naturopathic doctors here that we're blessed to be able to work with. And here's their whole hormonal health section here, the AyuTest, ElegFem, Sitawari, Shilajeet. I want to hear your thoughts on Shilajeet, Dr. Shailinder Sodhi. It's a very popular product nowadays. More and more people are coming in for Shilajeet. Let's hear your thoughts on it from a true Ayurvedic perspective. What's the benefit of Shilajeet? How is it so helpful?
Shilajit is actually one of the very ancient medicine, and basically it's a mineral pitch which seeps out of the Rocky Mountains, Rocky Himalayan mountains, high pitch mountain where I grew up as a child.
Yeah.
And it only happens in the high summertime when these sap which will seeps out of the cracks of the mountains, and that's why it's called Shilajit. Shila mean mountain rocks, and Jeet is the sap on it.
Oh,
So
wow.
that's how they name it. And the
I didn't know that.
locals over there will actually all those high altitude, the people who live the natives in that area takes this sap out and they will lick on it to stay healthy or go for high rock. These guys are the one who do not even feel oxygen deprivation on high altitude.
Yeah.
So that's one of the main things. That was where people start realizing if you are going high climbing and all that, you can take a Shilajeet as a additional supplement to maintain your normal levels of oxygen when you're doing that. But has more than that. It supports the virility and the sexual health in the individual. Because of all the different mineral which it has. It has all the micro minerals naturally present, and there is a different categories of Shilajit which are available. We only use Himalayan Shilajit because that's been considered as one of the best Shilajit available in the world,
Hmm.
and that's what we extract from. It's the hydroalcoholic extraction which brings all the natural material from it, and it's just loaded with all the antioxidants you have, and because it has so much micronutrients that it supports the healthy testosterone levels in the individuals, and it's also good for the bladder and kidney function, and also for the lung function overall. And usually people who are athlete back in India in the mountain areas, they consume this on a regular basis because it increases so much stamina on
Oh, wow.
in them. So it also builds the muscles and all that. So it's amazing or very simple to take one capsule a day. That's all you need to do. You don't need to do a whole lot of it. And I don't recommend to do over than what we ask you to do on the Shilaji. It's about 250 milligram if that's all you need to do in a day, and that's more than enough.
Yeah, and each capsule gives you 125, so you're looking at maybe one or two capsules per day, right, Dr. Sodhi? And
That's exactly right. That's exactly, you don't want to do more than 1 to 2 capsule a day. And also, the older people can go maybe two, and the younger population probably about one.
yeah, and this isn't just for men, right? Because it says here virility, healthy sexual function, promotes sperm health, but this for men and women?
It is for the women as well because it
Okay.
does support the kidney function, bladder function, and as well as the lung function. It can be given. Herbs are not, derived into men and female women, but they can be taken and enjoyed by both sexes
Yeah.
anytime, as long if they need a consult, consult with the naturopathic physicians in your area or any Ayurvedic physician. They can guide you through.
Dr. Sodhi, can you differentiate with Ayush herbs and Ayurved? Are those technically separate umbrella, or are those because there's different products depending on those? What's the difference between Ayush and Ayurved?
Ayurveda is the retail side of the Ayush, which is
Got it.
basically different packaging, smaller paaging.
Okay.
Ayush is on the professional side of the packaging, which is a much bigger and basically distributed through the good stores like you, or also through the Full Script and other bigger chains, and
Oh,
basically addressing the naturopathic communities. So Ayush is the parent company of Ayurved, and the
okay.
quality of each product, either you buying Ayush or Ayurved, is very similar and same. And it's just a packaging which it looks a little bit
Right.
different.
Okay, got it. Yeah, same team behind it, same ideas, same types of ingredients, very similar. Just the branding, pretty
Just
much.
the branding, exactly.
Um, okay, good. And thanks for highlighting the Shilajeet. I'm glad you clarified that and gave us more information on that. And there's so much research on Shilajeet, Dr. Sodhi. For the listeners, you could just go to Google and type in Shilajeet health and add the word scholar at the end. And there's tons of countless of published peer-reviewed medical studies on Shilajeet. So I want to ask you, just as low testosterone can be an issue for men, women have it's their own kind of problem where the hormones drop during perimenopause, menopause, estrogen imbalances, where things like estrogen and progesterone start dropping with age, just like in men for testosterone and DHT. What supplements does Ayush offer for women that are going through this time in their life, in their mid 40s, 50s, towards their 60s?
Right. It's more prevalent these days that women are
Yeah.
even start showing early perimenopausal symptom. My other day, I had few patients who were in early 40s or even, late 30s,
Yeah.
and they start experiencing hormonal imbalances. It's just the lifestyle which we are all living with, and all the things which we are doing. I think the women are more stressed out these days because they're working hard as well, which have changed their role, how they used to take care of themselves. So they're not taking care of themselves. For anyway, we can't change that effect because we all are living in a world where we have to do, multitasking. So for these women, one of the herb, if they only want to go with one herb, that will be Sitavari. which Ayush herbs offered really well. And Sitavari is just like an ashwagandha, which is I consider as a yang herb, and Sitavari is a yin herb, which balances out the female energy pattern. Again, Sitavari is one of the herbs which can be enjoyed by women at any age. It really supports the healthy estrogen levels in the body. It just helps your body to make those. And it also supports the adrenal gland. Just like in ashwagandha, I say that ashwagandha also supports the adrenal gland. By the way, ashwagandha can be taken by the women as well too, and shatavari can be taken by men as well. It's very much energetic herb which can be enjoyed. And women who are menopausal or perimenopausal and noticing, more issues in the gynecological issues and all that, in that manner, Sitavari is a herb which can be taken routinely, very safely. Nothing have to, you don't need to worry about it. It really supports your own body's hormone structures.
Good, very well, Dr. Sodhi. Thank you for that. We have products available for both men and women here through the Ayush line. And again, if you're tuning in now, it's episode 119, folks, with Dr. Shailinder Sodhi, brother of Dr. Virender Sodhi. We're talking to the whole family here on the podcast. What a blessing. And you guys are doing some great work there. Folks, if you haven't already, give us a like or comment on this video. Maybe hit that little subscribe button, and then it helps this message get across out there, across the YouTube algorithm and the channels there. Bone health, Dr. Sodhi, another major concern for those who are menopausal, perimenopausal, in that stage of their life. People don't realize that as you go through the age 50, 60, and these hormones drop, your bones get more dense or more weak, more porous, weaker, more brittle. And that's where those hip fractures can sneak in and really reduce people's quality of life. So what are the best ways and supplements to approach bone health, Dr. Sodhi?
The bone health is, it's just as, women and men both can suffer with the thinning of the bone as we age. Basically, again, it shows a strong relationship with the hormones, as men also can get osteopenic or osteoporotic. Similarly, women get osteopenic and osteoporotic
Yeah.
because estrogen and testosterone levels falls, and which also plays the role in bone mineralization. So the one thing is very which I would recommend. We have a product called ElegFem, and which is for the perimenopausal and menopausal women. It provides all the herbs which need to be taken by the women, and it also has a coral powder, which is a naturally occurring calcium and need to be taken. And then there is also we have plant-based calcium from Ayush, which is algae-based that can be taken by the women, and it has a natural strontium in it occurring, which is naturally present in the plant, which helps with the bone mineralization. So, the calcium supplementation is good. I also recommend high omega fish oil from Ayush, which is 80% EPA, which also plays a role. Of course, vitamin D and lightweight act or the, some sort of a weight exercise, weight bearing exercise also helps in mineralization of the bone and strengthening. So exercise, active workout exercise is very important for the women to maintain that, and also supplementing with the ElegFem, 1 to 2 capsule on regular basis, along with the calcium and vitamin D is really good to take during that. There is also studies done on Arjuna heart, which is also has a naturally occurring plant-based calcium and magnesium, and it is being recommended in Ayurvedic medicine also to for the bone health as well as for the heart health. By the way, when our hormones dwindle, it also affects our heart health. So it's not only we are talking about bone and muscle loss, but also the cardiovascular issues get compromised
Yeah.
with the hormonal imbalances or a lesser amount of hormone being produced by the body.
Folks, you're getting the inside tips and tricks here from Dr. Sodhi, the legend in the field. You better be taking some notes here if you want to make sure those bones stay nice and strong. I'm really happy you mentioned exercise, the importance of weight-bearing training and fitness. Nothing's better than that, right? That's the number one way to really strengthen those bones. Plus, if you combine it with some of those supplements too, can you remind me real quick on the Ayush the heavy hitter products specifically for the bones, so I can pull these up here?
Okay, one of the best product which is from the Ayush, I would recommend ElegFem for the women and AyuTest for the men as well because it supports the testosterone, and Arjuna Heart is another product, and calcium, which is the plant-based calcium from Ayush, and need to be, those are great product. It can be given, and also, I'll mention high omega fish oil from Ayush, which can be given to the women
Yes.
as well as in the men because it also addresses the men's and the women's cardiovascular issues as well.
Right. And thanks again for putting that on the radar for women that are 50 plus, 55, 60, going through menopause, perimenopause. Let's see, unstable internet connection there. There we
Yes,
go. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Yes, yes,
Perfect. The ElegFem product, because they don't realize that the bones get weaker at that stage in their life as well. They just have, obviously, they notice the menstrual changes, the maybe tender breasts, fatigue, changes in appetite, stuff like that. But the bones are directly affected through that stage in life here as well. So ElegFem, this is the product you were referring to, right?
yes. It is a product ElegFem which I'm recommended,
Yeah.
and perimenopausal any mid 40s women can start thinking of considering anytime they start noticing their hormonal shift is happening. They can take it's a very naturally. This herb has a herbs which kind of contains bamboo which provides the all the minerals, and then it has a fennel which addresses the hormone balance. Wild yam also helps with the hormone estrogen, and asparagus racemose which is shatavari again balances us the estrogen. As we hit the menopause, we notice that estrogen level falls down. So
Yes.
that is the this is the reason why this ElegFem formulation is helpful with the hot flashes and the hormonal flushes
Uh
which
huh.
happen, and this can be given during at that time. I will definitely combine ElegFem, the Ayush calcium base, which can be given as well, and high omega fish oil, which is the again Ayush product, which provides you over 80% of high omega 3s in it, and very beneficial to do that. And Sitavari, I say Sitavari should be taken by every woman.
Uh huh.
That's just how, regardless of age, it's a wonderful thing. One capsule a day, and we know how Sitavari is really beneficial to the individuals.
You can see a visual here for shatavari. It's actually asparagus, the family, part of the asparagus family.
It is not a part of
No.
asparagus family, but it is called asparagus. That's the Latin, but it's not an
Oh,
asparagus.
okay.
Yes,
Interesting. Got it. So again, this is very important for keeping those hormones regulated, and of course, these are supplemental. We're not giving you, even though both of us are practitioners with our own patients, we're just putting out good, just general educational information, right, Dr. Sodhi, for someone to think
exactly. The
about.
idea is to give you the knowledge,
Yeah.
and so you can do a little bit more search. These days, everything is available online, and you can also visit our website, which is right here ayush.com, and a lot of literature and a lot of good work we have done behind. You can search it and get your questions answered just like that.
And then, in addition to this, is the male version of that that can also potentially help with the testosterone, the bones for men going through. It's called the andropause. I'm
I
sure you heard of
lost
that
your
term.
connection in between. If you
Okay.
can hear me, uh, yes, and AyuTest is really one of the good product as well.
Yes.
And this is again, this is a product which can be given to individuals 1 capsule to 2 capsule a day, and it's an amazing blend of a combination of all the herbs, like I mentioned, mucuna prurans and chlorophytum boryvilium, which helps with the men's health, and there's also anacyclus pyretherium, which is again a product which supports the testes as health, and all these things. Saffron, which is again helps with the reduction of uh, stress hormones, which plays a
Yeah.
role in reducing. So all these things I think should be considered to take, and it's a great combination. Ayurvedic formula, which should be taken by the individuals who feel a little bit of a low testosterone levels, or just as age appropriate, needed. You can go with the
Hmm.
dosaging accordingly.
And you can see the Shilajeet is in there as well, folks, that we mentioned earlier. There's a standalone, but they also put some of the resin in there, 12.5 milligrams per one capsule. So again, AyuTest, ElegFem, all these products here available through Ayush Herbs. And Dr. Sodhi, we're coming towards the end here. We've covered hormonal health today, Shilajeet, Mumiyo. We've talked about the male and female products that are available. You mentioned exercise to strengthen those bones. What's a good recap here for today, Dr. Sodhi? A good summary for our listeners.
I think the good summary for my listener, if you're really thinking for, how to help, for the men, I will definitely recommend AyuTest and Ashwagandha to consider along with Shilajit. These are
Uh-huh.
the three products you can never go wrong. And for the women, I will definitely say if you're perimenopausal or menopausal, consider Cetavri and ElegFem, which actually helps really well, 1 to 2 capsules twice a day. And if you're a young female and having hormonal issues or irregularities in your cycle, then the Regu cycle along with Cetavri can be taken. Regu cycle is also wonderful formulation for the young women who can sometimes notice hormonal issues as well, and the periods and the cycles can be off. So this can be very beneficial. The other intake is just make sure you eat healthy, organic, and watch what you put in your mouth because at the end, it affects you and it affects your overall health.
Dr. Shailinder Sodhi, thank you so much for coming on. Give my best to Dr. Virender as well, and I look forward to talking to you guys again soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Dijon, and it's my pleasure to be on your show. And if anybody has a question, feel free to email me Shailinder at ayush.com. That's SHAILINDER at ayush.com. Thank you so much.
I'm going to attach that below, Doctor, for people to email you. I'll put that in the description under this video. Thank you for your time.
You take care, Dijon. It's my pleasure to be with you.